Hi everyone, welcome back to the Coggins Youth channel. Yesterday was Mother's Day. I meant to get this out yesterday, but I was busy with, my own family. So I wanted to make a video and kind of talk about what the Bible tells us about mothers and how important they are to our lives. So a lot of people have the misconception about the Bible that it sort of speaks down to women and that they are not seen as important. But that really couldn't be further from the truth. What it does tell us is that mothers are blessed beyond measure and that they are worthy of respect. In the Ten Commandments, we're told, "Honor your father and mother so that you may live a long life in the land that the Lord your God is giving you." And that comes from Exodus 20, verse 12. So we're supposed to honor our mothers. They are worthy of honor in God's eyes. Mothers who care for their children are fulfilling God's sacred duty for their lives, and they're giving up a lot for the betterment of their children. God tells us to not forget that and that their work is deserving of honor. In Proverbs 23, verses 22 and 25 through 26, we're told, "Listen to your father who gave you life, and don't despise your mother when she's old. Let your father and mother have joy, and let her who gave birth to you rejoice. My son, give me your heart, and let your eyes observe my ways." We as children of our parents and also children of God are called to bring joy to our parents who have supported us throughout our lives. And what does the Bible say is the best way to do that? Well, one is by caring for our parents as they age and grow into phases of their life where they may no longer be able to care for themselves. And two is by following God's ways. So going back to the previous verse, the way that we honor our mother is to follow God's teachings. If we are holding true to our faith, it reflects very highly on our mothers who bring us up in the faith. And it shows that she's done good work in rearing her children to believe in the one true God. Even if your mother isn't a believer or didn't raise you in church, it still reflects highly on her to be a believer yourself, because it means that she gave life to someone who would eventually grow up to enter God's kingdom. And the first thing I mentioned was that we are called to care for our parents as they grow older, as they age, and may not be able to take care of themselves as well. Unfortunately, there are quite a few people who tend to give up on their parents when they reach that phase of their life. And not everyone's parents will reach this phase. Some may pass before they get there, or some may take really good care of themselves and don't ever need that much help. But if they do, we are called to come through for the ones who raised us and help them in the final years of their lives. Mothers do hard work, especially in the early years of their children, where they are constantly feeding them, bathing them, changing them, around the clock care. As they grow older, they might not be able to fulfill all their needs by themselves. So as the children that they raised from birth, we can come through for them in their time of need and repay them for what they've done for us. The next passage we're going to look at is another one from Proverbs, specifically Proverbs 1 verses 8 and 9. And they say, "Listen, my son, to your father's instruction, and don't reject your mother's teaching, for they will be a garland of grace on your head and a gold chain around your neck." So God tells us that the teaching that we get from our parents is as valuable as beautiful jewelry that we could put on. Obeying our parents is really indicative of inner beauty, which is what God values more than anything on the outside. Our parents, if they are following God, generally do want the best for our lives. So when we listen to them, we are getting valuable information that will likely help us throughout our entire lives. This doesn't stop when we're kids anymore, though. As a youth leader, I'm speaking to my students here. I know a lot of you are probably looking forward to, when you're grown up and you're adults and you don't have to go along with what everybody tells you anymore. And, while it's true that when you're an adult, you do have more freedom to make a lot more of your own choices, but I'll tell you right now, my parents' advice is still very crucial to me. At this point, I'm in my 20s and I don't live with my parents anymore, but I can tell you right now, I still ask my mom for advice on things all the time. She's had a longer time in the world, so she has a lot to offer in terms of things that I may not have experienced yet and I need help on. Um, so I come to her for help a lot. So our parents' advice can help us through even things that we didn't think we might need help in, or further than we ever thought their advice could carry us. So it's very important to keep talking with your parents about these kinds of things, things that you struggle in, things that you haven't experienced. And God wants this of us. That's why it doesn't give an age when it talks about, honoring your parents. It doesn't say that that stops when you're a child. It just says to honor them. And so that continues into our adulthood when we're no longer living with them. Thank you all for joining me for this video. Be sure to give your mom a call and a hug. Just make her feel appreciated and thank her for all she's done. Maybe bring her some candy or some flowers too. That'd be nice. And I hope to see you all in the next video. God bless. If this video blessed you, like and subscribe. I'm not going to force you to, but feel free to join our channel. We're growing. We're, talking about God. And we'd be happy to have you join us. So I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.